Thank you for your attention. At this time, we are going to get our event started. First up will be Ms. Demetria Harris, who is our small business consultant in the Petersburg office. Ms. Demetria?
Good evening, everyone. How are you? Is this thing on? Can you hear? Okay. Testing. You can hear me. Right. How you doing? Good. Are we ready now? Good evening, everyone. How about now? Can you hear me? No, Jeremy, they cannot hear me. Who is this for? Is this for the people here or someplace else? It's for live streaming. Okay. Well, good evening. I am Demetria, the Small Business and Community Engagement Manager here at the Metropolitan Business League. I see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate you for that. Welcome to the 1717 building here at the Metropolitan Business League. We want to welcome you to the KIVA Classroom. We want to thank our partners for joining us this evening, and you're in for a treat. You'll learn more about our fiduciary partners and what we have to offer through KIVA and a plethora of other funding sources. So thank you for coming out. I want to introduce you to our host for the evening, none other than the Capital Access Manager for the Metropolitan Business League, Mr. Rufus Tyler.
Thank you. What's happening? I want to make this thing interactive today, guys. I don't want to sit here and do an event to where we just talk about KIVA, okay? It's called KIVA Classroom and Capital Access and Cocktails because we understand the climate of the business owners, right? And the trajectory of today's, or the concentration for today's engagement, is to not only just talk about KIVA, but how we can stack capital on top of KIVA. So I want y'all to be interactive today. I want the business owners, y'all ask questions, because every business owner says this, Mia, they won't take time at the bank. I got to set an appointment with the bankers to get sound foundation. Is that correct? And so when you think that you have professionals here like Shantae, you know how hard it is to get an SVP to come out? Y'all know that? Yeah, so Mia, you got Justin here from Cedar Forge Financial, and then a plethora of other people here. So I'm just delighted to be here to talk to you guys about capital access for your businesses. So one thing I wanted to ask you guys, if you look at your table, there was a handout that was given to each of y'all when you came in, asking you a little bit about your business, and then there was a question on there that kind of stuck out to me, and we're going to temporarily just use this as an icebreaker question, and the question is, with your business current state right now, what would be your first purchase? So that's my icebreaker question. Is there any volunteers that would like to elaborate on what their first purchase would like to be?
How's everyone doing? Good. I think, well, my name is Michael. I'm here with Benchmark Contract Services. I'm a small government contracting company. And as someone younger, I think there's so much stuff to be thrown at you, and there's so many different, like, I guess, not even resources. Just if you just scroll on your phone for about 10 minutes, you're going to find like 10,000 things telling you to go here, 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 and here. I think for me, though, the initial cost for me would be probably legal fees, because I'm starting to learn that this stuff costs. Like, owning a business, even just getting it off the ground already costs money. So that is probably my biggest thing for me.
Anyone else? What would be your first business purchase once you get your capital? Okay, I got one. Y'all would be so quiet.
I know, right? Good evening, y'all. How y'all doing? My name is Orchid, and I'm currently transitioning my business from a brick and mortar to mobile. So the first thing for me would be a bus or a trailer, but definitely being able to just be able to have the things that I need to start again, but I want to be mobile and not pay $3,000 a month for a brick and mortar. So, yeah.
Incredible. Y'all give a hand. Oh, I got another one. All right, cool. We'll roll with that. How are you, man?
All right, I'm doing well. Hello, everyone. My name is Renard Crawley. My business name is Crawley Mediation Services. So the first thing I would do would hire a full-time person. Right now, I have a part-time person, but I want to expand. I know I'm gonna need assistance, so we'll be a full-time person. Eventually, get me a building as well. But again, I start with a full-time person first.
Incredible.
Yes.
And what's the concentration in business?
So I do divorce, custody, child support, also, custody, child support, custody visitation, child support. I do mediation there, and also help parents through if they got to go to court independently. I help them navigate court with, giving them information. I do comprehensive binder assistance.
Wow.
I do mock trial prep. So
Wow.
a lot of people, 1 out of 3 people in the United States are in family court.
Sure.
So for me, I have personal experience along with, I'm also a certified family mediator as well in the state of Virginia. So just trying to help people, educate them, because the biggest thing is, an attorney can't guarantee an outcome, right? I don't care if you pay $10,000, but I can guarantee you be fully prepared, with my assistance and giving you education and information. And also, I help people when they, before they even go before the judge. I sit in the waiting room with them, not an attorney, give them legal advice, but give them a little confidence, give them a little boost. We review their information, like, hey, how you feel? You got this. And I wait for them until to the completion of their hearing, and we talk about, the pros and the cons. So that's another part of my service.
Incredible.
So.
Uh-oh, I got another one. I got another one. The beautiful Mia Mallory.
Hi, I'm Mia Mallory with RVA Financial Federal Credit Union. I'm one of the speakers today. Just a quick presentation, but I'm also a small business owner, and I would say inventory.
That's it.
That's what I want to spend money on.
I got it. Okay, I got another one. Got one more. Here you go, bro. How you doing today?
Good, very
All
good.
right.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Roland Arions, and I am the CEO of Kajir Consulting. And what I do is I offer certification to the government. I do government contracting, and what I would purchase is not so much a person, but I would hire a automation team, because there are so many levels, avenues that I need to cover, that by myself I fall through, because the government needs an answer right then and there, and if I don't hear about it, if I don't get on it, I've missed it. So if I have an automated team that will, when I get notification of something is coming up, now I can jump on and I have a head start on what I can actually offer. And I think that's been mainly my biggest downfall. When I see it, it's too late.
Incredible. Incredible. Give them a hand, y'all.
So I have another question. I love the interaction and then the trajectory of how y'all view your businesses. But I understand the KIVA is just one aspect, right? And the reason for today's meeting primarily is we understand there's SBDC out there, there's 1717 Collective, there's Bridging Virginia, there's MBL, right? But who's going to be the person that quarterbacks, that stands in the middle and says, look, I'll vet your business, understand where you are, and place you with the right fiduciary partner, and have collective meetings with them, right? So that's MBL job here today. Also, I wanted to understand what each business is in a different standard or in a different state, right? So KIVA, yeah, sounds great, 15,000 up to 0% or up to 15,000 at 0% and terming it out, right? And then the second time, 25,000 up to 0%. You're not getting that at any bank, right? But understanding how to stack your capital. So my next question is, what does capital access look like in your current business state? Anybody want to take that question on? Every business is different. So what does capital access look like? Capital access look like in your business state currently? Like, what's a dollar amount that y'all would say, look, if I had to take my business to the next tier, this is the dollar amount that I need?
I would say growth and $20,000.
Okay. That's doable.
Hi, everybody. I am the COO of In the Beginning Incubator. It's a family business, but I also am the CEO of Power Forward Sports, which is a sports management company. So I would say hiring more staff, and I need $50,000.
Here you go.
Are you want to? Oh, did you want to go? Oh, okay. Yes, sir. I need to build a facility and start capital.
I would say for me, $50,000 because I want to be able to market and advertise with the major companies as far as CBS, Channel 6, Channel 8, because I really want to get myself out there. I think that number for me will really expand my reach.
Incredible. For those that have a number, a capital number, put that on your sheet for me, and I'll collect those at the end such that we can kind of work together as well. Yeah.
Is it good for us, please?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I think for me, I think now as we're getting into the later, 2020s, I think AI operations, artificial intelligence is going to be probably one of our best tools, and that costs money. Just owning those tools, and obviously things like tokens, and there's things like hosting it. All of that costs a lot of money, but it's all super useful. And my number would be 30,000. I think that's a good number.
Make sure you document that on that for me. And I want to, kind of pursue some capital access meetings with you afterwards also. Did you have one, Ms. Evelyn? Dollar amount, okay. Anybody else with a dollar amount that correlates with a business? Anybody else? No? Yeah, kind of sort of? No? All right, yes, maybe so. All right, great. So we'll move on to the next component of the program. And basically, I have this gentleman here. He's been through, or two people here that are very near and dear to my heart. One that does a lot of hand-holding in the community that people need to know about. I mean, taking your photos to doing your business plan for you. And they're also a trustee of mine, KIVA trustee of mine, that send referrals to me that helps with capital access in the community as well. But they took the chance with me to go through the KIVA process, even though they're running a very lucrative business, just to understand what the process looks like, right? And so I want to give away to two of them, and I'll do the ladies first, I guess. But they're with In the Beginning Incubator. Would y'all come on up and just give a little synopsis about how your process was? Take your time. There you go.
Look, y'all, I'm Evelyn Johnson, and I am the CEO of In the Beginning Incubator. We're probably about 2 blocks over and 2 blocks up at the SunTrust building, the old SunTrust building, the Truist building on the 16th floor. It is doable. For all you small businesses that are thinking about that process, it's doable. They're still trying to recover from post-COVID. So there's still spaces out here that can be reasonable if you want to partner and you want to do things of that nature, because we do co-sharing of work on the 16th floor. Just wanted to say that as a KIVA trustee, I didn't know the process. When we first came to this space, I came to MBL and I asked them, what are my next financial steps that I should be taking? And wonderful advice. Become a trustee, then become a funder, then become a this, because you're earning your credibility as you're climbing that ladder. And so that's what ITB has done. And then we also, like Rufus said, took the opportunity to go through the KIVA process, because every Tuesday at 11:30, Rufus and I are on the phone with whoever signs up through our KIVA portal to walk them through the application, to help them through any questions that Rufus has for the application. With our clients, we go back and say, Rufus, I can handle it. Don't worry about it. Once we get off the phone, okay, what we need to do? What do we need to do to get this done? What do we need to do? How do we need to update? That's hand-holding what we do literally, which is it's almost like a forgotten art, because most businesses, and this is my daughter, and I'm gonna just tell y'all, this orange dress has nothing to do with anything except today my son got his law school application admission letter.
All right.
So I'm just excited. So I'm just excited. I'll meet my husband afterwards and we just go celebrate. And so, but just for that, but just to say that, he, with the last question that Rufus had, he knows that my son is part of our team. This is literally a family business. And he does like 4 jobs in my office. So for him to say, well, what do you need to do? Yeah, I need to hire 5 different people and only can afford that one. So that is the thought process. But when, as a CEO, when as you all are owners of your business, the thought process, get in the habit of putting those numbers together to people, to things, and specify it. So when you come to an event like this, you know exactly how much it costs to do what I do, to do what, and what her salary is, my salary, what it costs for me to turn a buck, literally, what do I need to do? And the Kiva opportunity was a good opportunity because I was a stay-at-home mom for 50 million years. My husband granted me the opportunity to start this business and to help and allow me to do this. And I had to grow up in my business. And I had to learn these things. And I had to learn the process of doing it. So when I did the Kiva loan, that was my first loan on my own for my business, covering things of that nature. And that was new. But I walked through the process, and we're almost getting ready to pay off our loan and getting ready to move to the next step, which is Bridging Virginia, which is the bigger money. But you have to earn your credibility. And now it won't be off my credit score. It will be off my business score. And so those are the processes that you have to learn to grow through with your business. And within the beginning incubator, again, we're literally an incubator. Just like you think of an egg being incubated, we do that process. We help you through no matter what, when you're building, when you're getting ready to hire their first person, how do we do that? When you're getting ready to write that first contract, how do we do that? When you're seeking your first grant, how do we manage it if we get it? We help you with all of those pieces. I have a flyer here, and it's just a trustee flyer. But if you need any business supportive services for your small business, we're here to help you. And even getting your location and transition, we have a little book for individuals that are transitioning from a home-based business to a brick and mortar, how that process works, a little checklist. We have a little book for that. So if you need anything in that area of support, don't hesitate to give us a call. But Kiva has been a blessing, and Rufus and his team has been a blessing to ITB, because I call him and ask any financial question. How does this connect with my personal taxes? How does this work with my personal life and balancing my business life? What do you think? That's great. And so those, not only the people, develop relationship with individuals that support you and support your business and support your vision. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and Sharnay to come. And again, he's become a part of our family. And I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to speak to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Oh, my Lord. I almost cried. This next person doesn't need an introduction. Brother's been around 20 years in the financial industry, owns his own business, has been doing it. And the other day I said, look, we were on the phone talking. He said, man, I got my 19-year-old. She's here, and she just got her life, health, and annuities licensing. So y'all give her a hand for that. Just the leadership to do that as a father, And so I said, man, look, I gotta get my daughter to come over and get with your daughter so she can get her registrations as well. Just to mirror, and have someone to kind of shadow. How many people know shadowing is good? All right, cool. So I'm gonna get out the way and let this brother come on up here and give her a little bit about his business and what his process through Kiva was like.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. He actually didn't tell me I was going to be standing up in front of people today. My name is Justin Pinkson, and like Rufus said, I'm used to calling him Rudy, but like Rufus said, I've been in the financial services space for about 20 years, and this is actually full circle for me. So I started off at Wachovia Securities. I don't know if anybody remember Wachovia Securities used to be in the Twin Towers over there, and 2009 is when Wachovia got bought out by Wells Fargo or something like that, AG Edwards or whatever. And it's funny because I said to myself, I'm not going to work for anybody else, right? Anybody ever had that period where they had a transition, right? And it was a massive layoff down here or whatever. So I said, man, this is an opportunity for me to do something I always want to do. How many guys heard the phrase, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? how many guys know that sometimes we don't get paid for doing what we love to do? That will, right? And so that's the process of trying to figure that out. So I didn't want to actually become a business owner, but what happened was I actually got and in 2000 and I want to say 16, it was when I actually got associated with this side of the finance, and I was just working with the company, as an advisor for that company for about 5 or 6 years. And how many guys know sometimes directions just don't align together, right? And so the company was going one way, I was going another way. I'm like, I'm seeing some things I don't really like. So I got dissatisfied in that situation to where I had to make a change. It was uncomfortable for me, but I knew I had to make the change. And so I said, I don't want to start a business. I don't want the headache. I don't want, the marketing, the sales. I don't want to do all that. I just want to, but, in order to actually have more impact, you got to take on more responsibility, right? In order to provide the type of footprint that you want to do and provide for your family and the community, you got to become a different person. And so along that process, so I officially started my agency last year, and shortly after I did that, I ran into Rufus, through a mutual acquaintance, and we got on the phone. He started talking, and I said, "What?" Yeah, I said, this. I said, "Is this legal?" $15,000, 0%. And he said, "Yeah, man." So sort of like Miss Evelyn, and this is funny, real quick. I'm not gonna be long, but Miss Evelyn, I met her. Yes. I met her years ago after I had that stint with Wachovia. Wow. I said, I want to put up a building. I was actually a little bit bigger, more, because I played sports, and I want to put up a big community center. So I sat down with her. We, had her other office, and I think it's Hopkins Road somewhere back then. But anyway, that again is full circle. Yep. And so I met Rudy. Rudy said, "Yeah, we could do this." And I said, "You know what?" He said, "Yeah, you need to build some business credit, this and that." And I said, "You know what? This is perfect. It just aligned perfectly for what I needed." And then it wasn't just about me, but I knew I needed to help some other people go through the same process. Because how many of you guys know sometimes when you know something, in your circle, everybody come to you as that source, but you don't know everything, right? And so when I met Rudy, I was like, man, this guy's just a wealth of knowledge, right? And so actually, my experience through the KIVA process was just flawless. I'm like, how's this actually going to work? I'm like, I was still kind of skeptical all the way up into the process when it went all the way through. I was like, man, this is smooth. Can we do this again, right? But needless to say, everything was great. I was interested in hearing the responses of what the first purchase would be, because my first purchase was wrong, right? My first purchase was marketing, okay? And so we got started last year, and I put some money into marketing, and we got so busy, right, that I had to shut operations down and put money into operations, right? Because it's like putting gasoline, because what happened is you put money into marketing and your operations isn't right. Well, you start to deteriorate the quality of your service, right, and the experience. So I was like, oh crap. So had to slow down and speed up, right? And so now with AI, right, you want to hire people, but AI kind of, it's like, all right, I want to be efficient with the money also, right? So let me structure some things in place with AI, and then I still want to have, people in the community. I just hired my daughter, right? So, but that's it. Kiva's been a blessing to me. I don't want to take up too much time. So, if you're here evaluating Kiva, I strongly recommend you get on board.
Thank you so much, Justin. Last but not least, y'all, I don't know if y'all had the opportunity to take part in some beer over there, some beer samples over here. But I have my man, Dan, the man, I call him. He came through my Kiva process, or the Kiva portfolio, and he's one of our last testimonies. He was so gracious just to bring some of his samples over for everyone. And so I'd like to introduce my buddy Dan and let him share his testimonial.
Do I need the mic? Can you all hear me? Okay, I'm good.
Okay, all right.
I'm New Yorker. I'm loud. I tell myself not to talk too fast. But Rufus is the man. That's all I can say. This whole Kiva thing was like, it was like a genie that came out of a box. When I heard about it, it was like, wait a second, how much can I get? And how much is available to me?
Right.
And at what rate?
Right.
Like, no, it's not real.
Right.
It doesn't happen, but it is real. And Rufus, you're the man, and I'm so appreciative for what you've been able to unlock with me. Justin, you said a lot of stuff that parallels with my own experience, except for the part where I grew too much. But I mean, without the KIVA funds, like I wouldn't have been able to hire like partial business folks. So I hired a sales and marketing person. I hired someone to help me with my website. And they're all fractional, right? So I used some of the funds to cover my wholesale license. That's $1,000 right there that I didn't have. Right, I used it to cover some ingredients, some inventory for merch. I mean, it's like it was like a catch-all for me to get started, and it just made such a big difference because for me, it was like a snowball, right? It was like started at the top of this little mountain, and as it rolled down, it got bigger and bigger and bigger, and now I have so much momentum behind my business. Like, love the mobile idea, so I'm now in a position where I can bring. You know, I say, why do the food trucks all get to have a truck? Why can't there be a beer truck?
Right, yeah.
So, I'm going to set up my stuff upstairs. You all come find me, and I'll talk all day about my second child. But yeah, I had such a positive experience that I told my wife, I'm like, you need to talk to Rufus. Like, I'm not even going to tell you like what it's about. Just talk to Rufus. He's going to hook you up. And she went through the program as well. We both had amazing experiences. It's not an intimidating process. Like Rufus holds your hand through the whole thing down to like, hey man, here's a form, not a big deal. Here's what I'm looking for. So my wife and I both got funded. And I heard someone mention inventory. So my wife sells physical products. So she used some of her proceeds to fund lots of inventory.
Wow.
And hire a couple fractional people as well.
Incredible.
So, awesome. I will stop talking now. Thank you all.
Hey, look, all right, y'all. I'm gonna get off this KIVA horse, and you know, KIVA is not predicated on your annual revenue, sales, collateral, your credit score, none of the things that your traditional fiduciaries require, right? But what I want to do now is give leeway to some of our traditional and non-traditional partners that can elaborate or expound on what capital access looks like through their eyes. Is that okay? All right. I'm going to pass this right over here to Mrs. Mia.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Mia Mallory, and I'm with RVA Financial Federal Credit Union. How many people have seen our building right across from the baseball diamond? Right on the corner? Yep, so you know where we are. We're also relocating our City Hall branch to a more accessible location right next to the National on East Broad Street. So how many of you in the room are small business owners? All right, lots of hands. How many people bank personally where their business banks? Anybody? Okay, and how many of you know your bank presidents? Okay, well, I have to tap the screen because I'm not connected to the mouse. Hold on. Oh, there we go. So we are a local credit union. We're more than just a financial. We want to be your financial partner, and we've got a lot of other financial options. And we are all about relationships, and that's one thing that our credit union really prides ourselves in. We want to build a relationship with you. We want to help you succeed financially, not just with your business, but also with your personal obligations and your personal finances. As a business owner, your personal finances matter. So we have checking and savings. We are a full-service financial institution. We have all the consumer lending products. We have credit cards, home equity loans. We do a lot of getting people into first-time homes. We do a lot of certificates and money markets and things. But we have to make sure that you're taking care of yourselves, because that really can impact your business and how well your business does. We also pride ourselves in having an empowerment center. And our empowerment center is an individual or a
couple of individuals that actually work with you one-on-one to provide financial counseling, financial education, coaching, really just going above and beyond to meet you where you are in a non-judgment zone and helping you reach your financial dreams. It's really important that you reach your dreams because it impacts everything. It impacts, what you do in your homes, what you can do for your families, and what you can do for your businesses. So if you become, or when you become financially stronger, your business does as well. So a lot of us are here to understand how we can get access to capital. And Rufus did a really great job of talking about that. And what we can do with the credit union is we can do loans up to $50,000. I know when we were shouting out our dreams, a lot of people said $50,000, and that's our loan amount. So a lot of people, as you can see in the pictures, they have grass cutting companies and they want to get a new zero-turn machine. Or if somebody has, a food truck, or if somebody's starting a small business and they want to buy some inventory, or if somebody wants a cargo van to help them, with their painting business. Some of those loans are not $100,000 loans, they're $20,000 loans, or, $30,000 loans, and that's where we can help you out. And not only with your business loans, but also with your personal accounts as well. But the catch to that is, with us being a small credit union and being relationship based and everything, we will look at your personal situation. We do have to have collateral with these loans to go up to $50,000. We can do up to $50,000, like I said, but the title of the loan can be titled in the business's name. So that way, you can show that you have or you own that asset. But we do local. We are local underwriting, local decisions. Terry Hampton is our COO here, committed to the credit union, been at the credit union for over 35 years. Thank you, Terry, for being here tonight. And come talk to us. Yes. Come and talk to us. We want to make your business successful. We want to see you successful. Again, we want to build that relationship with you and help you reach your dreams and goals. We are community focused. And that's the biggest thing. We really are committed to the Richmond community. We were originally founded to service the City of Richmond employees, but now we serve anybody that lives in Virginia. So we invite you to come see us, and after the presentation, come talk to us. We want to start a conversation with you. Everybody take out their phones, scan our QR code, follow us on social media, see what we're doing in the community, and visit our website to learn more. But thank you so much for your attention this afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon.
Incredible. Thank you so much, Mia, for coming out and elaborating on, what capital looks like and some of the innovative ways that RVA Financial has accessibility to capital. With KIVA, I wanted to mention one thing before I turn this last segment over to our SVP from Truist Banks, Mrs. Shante. But I think the one thing I want y'all to take, yes, 0% to 15,000. There's no collateral, as I said, no annual revenue sales requirements, right? But I was in church the other night. Y'all don't judge me. I'm going somewhere with this. But one thing that the pastor said was that your stage is your story, or your story is your stage. And that's what I want y'all to take from KIVA. When you go into a bank, they don't always ask you about your story, right? But you get the opportunity to tell your story, build your business credit, and then that's your stage to where everybody, 2 million lenders, lend money for your entire loan to be funded. So it's a great opportunity to establish business credit, and it's unconventional. And like I said, with our business partners here, we'll be collaborating, doing sessions for each business to determine where to allocate the funds to that are relevant or conducive to your business. Last but not least,
I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all probably won't see me anymore. I know y'all tired of seeing my little short tail talk, so it's all good. But I have someone that is near and dear to my heart. She's an incredible speaker, very community oriented, and has just done a dynamic job. I'm gonna tell you, I was not too many people like just mind blow me, but I was at one of her sessions. Not that many people attended, and I'm gonna tell you, this sister got up there and started talking. And I said, "Oh my God! Anything I have from here on out, I got to have you there." And so she's going to talk about from a just traditional perspective what capital access and what capital readiness looks like. Okay, so I'll give away to Mrs. Owens. Y'all give her a hand as she comes up. And she'll tell you more about her title and all that good stuff, but she is the SVP. So,
Thank you.
oh yeah.
Awesome. We're going to try to get my technical back set up, so just bear with us. While they work on that, it is truly an honor and privilege to be with you all tonight. This organization, MBL, Rufus, of course, Floyd, and the whole team here, we just so appreciate the partnership, year after year to actually come together and bring impact to our community. So again, it's a privilege. He's going to work on the technology. At this time, while we get started, I do want to bring one of my business partners up, Mr. Dante, to come introduce himself. We're partners in crime, and he provides amazing support. So I want you to tell them a little bit about yourself, what branch you support, and something that how you make impact with our small businesses.
Yeah, so I'm a banking lifer. Been in bank about 20 years. I was at RBA Financial previously, so. So I'm currently at Truist, the Regency location out in the West End. That's okay, about 25 minutes, 20 minutes. It's a quick little ride. Don't worry about that. But really my passion, what I tell my people, my superpower is connectivity, relatability, right? Like we talk about access to capital, access to revenue, but really it's just about relationships and information, passing information. Randy, your experience, right? If you have an experience that can help someone else, share that information. So really that's what it's all about is building a community of resources that you can rely upon. Rufus, where'd he go? Where'd Rufus go? Rufus, I've been knowing Rufus for about 5-10 years. Great resource, right, to be able to connect to business owners and help them reach their financial goals. So when you strengthen a community like that, it just pays dividends for generations. So I love to see the show out, the turnout here tonight. We got some great information. We got some great resources for you all. And just take notes, soak it all up, ask questions. No question is a bad question, right? Because the question that you are thinking about, or question that you want to ask, and might be nervous to ask, someone else has that same question, right? So it's an interactive session. So let's make sure that we ask questions, and then mingle, meet business owners, meet other business owners, because your business may be able to help someone else. So thank you guys for having me here. Are we ready on the technical?
Not quite,
Okay.
but we're going to flow because we know how to move forward
Yeah.
even without the technical. If I have to do it without the technical, we're able to flow. All right, so want to get started while they work on the technical. Just first to give an introduction of who I am. Again, my name is Shantae Owens. I am the Truist Workplace Banking and Financial Empowerment Leader for the region. I currently have been in banking now. This is year 28 for me, so I've been doing this out of the womb. My background extends to both retail and commercial lending. So for a portion of my career, way back in the day, right, I was the person that you would come in to have a conversation with for a personal loan or an auto loan, right? Or even maybe to purchase your first home. Okay. For another part of my career, I worked extensively with small businesses, right? So whether it was a mom and pop trying to start a business, whether I know for a long time I worked out on like James Road where a lot of the medical practices are. So I help those business owners obtain funding for owner-occupied real estate. So I say all that to say I have an extensive background in both personal and business credit. For another portion of my career, at the tender age of 25, which is a long time ago, okay, because my baby girl is going to be 28 years old. So back in the day when I was 25, I'm originally from New York, a native New Yorker, so I always had a passion for investments. So at the tender age of 25, I don't know how many of you all have seen the movie with Will Smith, The Pursuit of Happiness, right? So y'all know how he was going through, he was having a hard time with his lady. He was living in the train station. He was just struggling, but he had purpose and vision to go to the next steps. But it was some challenges. And so to make a long story short, while he was enduring all that, he was studying for the Series 7 investment examination. I know I have some bankers and financial folks in here. I heard Rufus talking about, his daughter getting, the life health and annuities. So Series 7 is a little bit further up the channel, but at the tender age of 25, I was also studying for that, right? And that is almost the equivalent of taking the bar exam to become an attorney, because it's a 6-hour math exam, right? And so, make a long story short, I accomplished that at the tender age of 25. And for a portion of my career, I worked to help my clients build and obtain wealth, right? Because my main focus was helping clients diversify their portfolios with stocks, bonds, investments, option trading. Like, I get excited when I talk about those types of things, right? So that was a portion of my career. For my last 14 years, I have, of course, been overseeing the territory here with Truist. My territory extends to both Richmond, Petersburg, Tri-Cities, Southfield, Emporia, all the way into the North Carolina border. And I have the honor and privilege to oversee 25 bank branches. I come from very humble beginnings, right? I share with you, I'm from Harlem. I'm from the projects. I don't wear that necessarily as a bandana, but it is as a source of where I come from and how we can transform. It doesn't matter if we come from the suburbs, if we come from the country. When we have vision and we push forward, these are many different things that we can obtain, right? So as they continue to work for that, I wanted to just go around the room. I know some people, as they were talking, they already shared, what business they're with and things of that nature. But some of the people that maybe haven't had a chance to express, I want you to kind of go around the room, tell me the name of your business, how long you've been in business, and then I want you to tell me one thing in reference to capital that really keeps you up at night. Okay? All right, so y'all have like 20 seconds. So y'all got to speak like a New Yorker today, okay? So we're gonna take and maybe we can get maybe about 5 or 6 you all to share. I'll give that to you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bria Porter. I am the founder and CEO of Coyote. How are y'all doing? All right, good. I'm great, thank you. So the question was, my agency is a marketing firm. We're a strategic and execution partner for businesses with big visions. So we've worked with Nike, the Nature Conservancy, the government of Maryland, and then also small businesses, a Brow Bar in Baltimore, or a small business fitness trainer who wants to help women get strong. It doesn't matter where they are on the map. We really see people for their visions of connectivity and how they want to grow with others. And we want to back them from their operational components all the way into their executionary and marketing services. So that's us. One of the things that does keep me up at night is the access to capital, with the considerations that I might have collateral to put up, which is like, savings or 401k or whatever. But the credit, because of the student loan government. Sorry, I know we have 20 seconds, but
Yes.
access to capital with the considerations of things like my credit history that might be a barrier from my silly mistakes in my 20s. So that's something that keeps me up at night.
Awesome. That's powerful. I'm happy that you added that. That was a good value add to bring that in, because we're going to be talking a little bit about that. And then my last question for you is, how long have you been in business?
Oh, so I've been in business for 10 years, incorporated for 5, and we started scaling 9 months ago.
Okay.
So
Wonderful. Can we get 1 or 2 more volunteers?
Don't be shy. We got 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more. Yep, 2 more. Yep.
Hi, I'm Shanae Johnson. I'm the CEO of Power Forward Sports. I've been in business since March. And what was the last question? You said 20 seconds. What keeps me up at night? I need more staff. I can't go to recruiting trips and I can't do everything else. So I need more staff. That really keeps me up at night, especially since I'm losing my brother to law school.
So you need the staff to keep up. Yeah. Right, yeah.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Latasha Copeland. I'm the owner and instructor at Genesis Driving Academy here in Richmond. The second question, what keeps me up at night? So for me, it's the credit, business and personal credit worthiness, because life has been life, and baby. I've been through a divorce the last 3 years. I went through surgery, had to have a partial hysterectomy. I know the TMI for the men folk, but if you know, you know. So yeah, just some hurdles and obstacles, but I'm still determined to bounce back. I have bounced back. Personal credit is in the 700s now, so we're getting back to it. But just the thing that's looming is, okay, like, we've done this before, but doing it over again, and things are constantly changing. So just finding that sweet spot in that algorithm to get back to it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. All right, wonderful. Let me put this in presentation mode.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been in business for 8 years now, since 2018.
All right, so we've actually gone through like 4 slides just from off the top of. Can y'all? Yep, I'm good. So we've actually gone through 5 of the first slides already just off the cuff. So we're going to start from right here. So I want to thank you all for sharing, the heartbeat of some of the things that's going on with you all. So now what I want to kind of paint the picture is this. Each and every one of us in this room are on a financial wellness journey, right? Each and every one of us have different goals, dreams, and aspirations, things that we desire to achieve in the realm of our finances, right? Some of the things might be those things concerning us personally in our household. Some of those things might be concerning our business, the vision for the growth of our business. What I will say is that it doesn't matter what boat you're in, we're actually here in partnership with you to help you move through those different stages. One of the key things when working with business clients that I get the honor and privilege to do is to make sure you have a strong foundation, right? Everybody in this room is in different lanes, different seasons of your business. And so what I like to always go back to do is to give a solid foundation, even for some of you that may be 5, 10 years in the business. Some of the key points that I'm going to be pointing out to you might be additional nuggets that are going to help to enhance. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is separating your personal and business finances. Many times when dealing with business clients, sometimes funds are commingled, right? We've had folks in years past that, especially a lot of us when we started out in business, you taking payments through Cash App, you got a Square, it's like all mixed. Listen, it's a smorgasbord of a whole lot of things. And that might be efficient for the moment because you're like, I got the cash in my pocket, but you're moving so fast that you're not putting the procedures in place to execute with excellence. Let me tell you the reason why. You have to separate, because when it's time for you to get the loan or get the grant or try to get funding, they're going to look at your business accolades and your accounts, and you can't say, well, the money over there in my personal Cash App, or the money is over here. So that's one of the reasons why you want to make sure you separate. Of course, benefits, of course, is going to be, personal liabilities. You don't want to say, oh, I'm an LLC or a C Corp. Don't come after my personal money, but you're commingling money. So it's many different reasons why you want to make sure. Tax implications, right? You want to make sure that you're keeping it separate for that reason as well. Clear business view, again, when you're trying to get funding for business loans and things of that nature. And then just honestly, just peace of mind so that you know that you're actually not trying to say where are these receipts or where are those receipts, right? So those are just some of the reasons that you want to keep it separate. But now I'm going to go into something a little bit deeper, right? So we understand that you're going to separate, right? Personal, business. Now let's talk a little bit deeper about mirroring. Mirroring, mirroring, mirroring. Okay? So I heard some comments in the room that say, well, now I need to kind of backtrack because some things on my personal don't look like what they need to look like, right? So we always want to make sure that you have a solid foundation. You want to make sure on the personal side you have a checking account, right? The reason why I'm setting this conversation up, the whole heartbeat of the conversation we're having here tonight is to help those that are maybe getting no's and declines transition to yes and approved. That's the whole reason for us having this particular conversation tonight. So the first thing you want to make sure on the personal side, you have a checking account, right? Not a chime account. That's cute, but we as bankers, when we see you only have a chime account, red flag. It's a red flag. Now, it is fine if you're using it because you're doing a little team order, right? But that's not it, because that's letting us know that you have issues and a bank is not giving you a bank account, okay? So you want to have a traditional checking account. You want to have a traditional savings account, right? You want to have a personal credit card, right? Maybe a couple. That's a deep conversation because most people think, oh, I have one credit card. My credit is good. No banks, can you manage 5 trade lines? Let's have a deeper conversation. Because a lot of times businesses will get a first personal credit card and they got one business, credit card. And we're looking for at least 5 trade lines, right? If you're trying to get the big money, now if you want to stay in that $10,000 or more or less, that's fine to have those minimum trade lines, but we have to be able to see that you're able to function with that, right? So that's going to be the first thing. Get your personal straight, checking account, savings account. The savings account on the personal side should not be empty. Or it should not be where it's not constantly growing. You need to set in procedures where you're systematically saving. Systematically save. $50, $100, $200, whatever it is on your personal side. Make sure that you are expanding with your credit. If you have that 1 or 2 credit cards, that's fine. Right? So you're going to need to look at your credit mix. Right? That's a whole nother conversation itself. Then you want to look at things like CDs. Right? Before I even get to CDs, I always run out of time. Listen, y'all gonna have to tell me, because listen, I don't even have that. But if I had that, we'd be here 5 hours. They'd be like, this lady needs to take a break. But it's so needed. We have to get out of the mindset that one savings account is enough. That is just the entry level. That is the elementary level. And within our communities, a lot of times it's a struggle just to get that first account. But we need to be in a place where we're generating enough income, cutting off enough debt that you have multiple savings accounts. Like the savings accounts got labels on them. Like households, emergency. We know the tradition of we need to save. The industry rule, right, is to have 3 times your income in a savings account for emergency. That's the first level, right? Once you have captured that, then you should have other savings accounts. It should be maybe a savings account for a second home, right? Or your first home, whatever the case may be. Savings accounts for our kids' education or grandkids' education, right? Listen, if you're taking a trip to Paris and you want to do it debt-free, how about having an account where you're putting that money away to go on a vacation? Again, because we want to have access to credit, but then we also want to have a debt-free lifestyle. So you want to build up those things. Even for the beautiful things. I see some beautiful purses here. True story. During COVID, it was actually before COVID, right? I was going to turn 40, right? Because I'm pushing 50. So I was going to turn 40. And so I was like, you know what? My 40th birthday's coming. I'm getting myself a Louis Vuitton purse. Now, I had the money to just go buy it. It was $1,800. I could just pull it out of my savings. It's okay. But I said, no, I'm going to discipline myself. So I set up another savings account, and I labeled it the Louis Vuitton account. Okay? All right. This is a true story. So mind you, if I told y'all how many bank accounts I actually have, y'all would be like, what? Like 14 accounts? Like, is that, yeah. Because yeah. So anyway, I set up this account, and I set it up where, like, every 2 weeks, when I got paid, I was putting $175 away, right? So by the end of the year, I had the $1,800. So $1,800 was there, and I was like, well, it's no rush. My birthday's in January. March hit. COVID was there. I said, I don't need no doggone Louis Vuitton. I said, I need to buy my family PPE. So I was over there trading for like lights. So I was like, I'll give you $50 because my mama needs some. Listen, but it put me in such a position. And back then I was single, like divorced. I'm now remarried with the love of my life. But what I'm saying is, during that season, yes, I could have got the purse. But because I had been strategic and strategizing, not only could I protect my household, me and my children, I was able to be a blessing to other families. Oh, you need this? That's the purse money. I'll make that up. You know what I'm saying? So this is why we need to not just have that one side, oh, I have this, and then that's it. We don't cut it off at that. Okay, so that's just on the personal side. We didn't even get to the business. Okay? Because again, the title of this whole presentation is like, it's not personal, it's business, okay? But really, we're going to have to get in your personal so that your business can get to where it needs to be. So again, you are going to build the savings, that first emergency line. Then you need to have subcategories of your savings account, okay? All of this on a personal. Then we get into your CDs, right? Credit, that's foundational. Now we're talking about the mirroring. The mirroring effect is now you're going to repeat what you just build the muscle to do on the personal side. You need to build it on the business side. Business checking. Do you technically, maybe you need more than one business checking, right? Because one is operations, one is where your tax account. If you are like me, besides being in banking 28 years, I own a travel agency that I've owned for 10 years, and I have brick and mortar boutique with like, I had the boutique for like maybe 4 years where I was selling like luxury suitcases and things like that, right? So you might have to have different accounts for different parts of your business so that you're not spending funds that you should not be spending, right? So you need to have a come to me meeting with yourself. Do y'all host meetings with yourself? Yes. Okay, all right. So host a meeting with yourself, right? Get your journals. Now some of y'all are fancy dancy. Y'all like the online, make the spreadsheet. Then some of y'all might be old fashioned like me. They either call me the bag lady or the notebook lady because you're going to see me with so many bags and notebooks. But whatever the case, get in there and decide, right? So that's a part of your homework. Like decide what different types of accounts that you need. Okay? All right. So business checking, business savings, business credit, right? Business credit means what? You got to make sure that personal is going in the right direction. Then you want to seek places like many places offer secured credit cards, right? On the personal. On the business side, the one bank that I know that offers secured credit is going to be Bank BOA. Now, I represent Truist, but my job is to be a wealth of information, right? So BOA is one of the ones that I know for the major banks that's going to offer it. Now, what's going to happen is you might take that. They might not have all the bells and whistles, but that'll help you, right? In the interim, again, I don't have my slides, y'all, so y'all bear with me. All right, so in the interim, what you're going to be doing is also working on your business credit. So that means taking your tax ID. I'm assuming everybody in here has a tax ID. All right, everybody in here got it done in Bradstreet? Yes? Pending? Okay. So then you make sure you have that registered. Now, once you start getting these business credit cards, you need to make sure that you register them under the Dun & Bradstreet so that it can report to it. That's a missing step a lot of people do a lot of the times. What you're going to do, there are three business credit, y'all know Experian, TransUnion, Equifax. On the business side, the three business credit unions are Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax Business, and TransUnion Business. Those are the three. Okay, so you got to report to Dun & Bradstreet so that it can actually register. Okay, then the next thing you want to do, if you're starting out, you want to start out with, try to get the Bank of America card, right? Then you want to take a look at 30, 60, 90 net pay accounts. Y'all sticking with me? You lying, baby. You lying. All right, y'all know that big catalog? My husband loves that catalog. I can't stand that catalog because he always wants about all this stuff in his garage. Okay, so it's a big book. And so you might not need office supplies, but what I would encourage you, they are one of the ones that, oh, that's not my phone. Anybody see my phone? Oh, Lord, I left the phone. Okay, because I'm going to run y'all through. How many minutes do I have? I know I don't have that much. All right, so I'm going to run y'all through this list. This is Miss Shantae's years of nuggets for both my business and other businesses. So, all right, so let's see. All right, so your U line, y'all understand the books. Does everybody know what I mean when I say 30, 60, 90 net pays? Okay, all right, so the 30, 60, 90 net pays are broken down into tiers. They're like tier 1s, tier 2s, tier 3s, right? The tier 1s are going to be the easiest ones to apply for. Those are going to be like Quill, Granger, Uline, Sunbelt Rentals, okay? Those are just some of the top ones, and y'all can just like Google it. So those are the ones that more than likely you have a business tax ID. They're gonna give you a $500, $1,000 line of credit, right? 2,000 just off the cuff. They're gonna give you this line of credit, okay? You keep those in motion and you pay them back, and guess what? Then you can start applying to tier 2. Now let me tell y'all a trick of the trade that applies to. Yes, sir.
I wanted to ask, do they give like I know American Express, they're like if you spend a certain amount of money at a store, they give you a stipend back?
Yes. No. Okay, so that's good that you have that in place, right? Okay, so Granger is like a company that sells supplies, right? All of these are different types of companies that are just out there, but for businesses, they give them a line of credit to buy inventory that they might need, envelopes. So by you going in and registering as a business, you might have to upload your docs. Then they come back to you maybe a week, 2 weeks later. If there's not an instant approval, you get approved, right? Now, on the traditional side of your credit score, right? You know your credit score is affected by you pay before the due date. You don't get it 30 days late. You're not going above you're not going over 25% utilization. Your score is going to go up. With the net pays, your score goes up by how fast you can pay it back. So they might give you a 90-day net pay, but if you want your scores to boost up, pay it off in 30 or pay it off in 45. It's a different type of strategy. Okay, so that's going to be your tier 1s. Okay, your tier 2s are going to be, let's see. Okay, your tier 2s are going to be like Honda Power Equipment, Caterpillar, Hertz Car Rental, Lowe's Accounts Receivable. For those of you that are maybe in the line of business where you're selling tangible goods, right? How many of you all that are in business that have like tangible goods, like have your Amazon business account? Right? Because if you have your wholesaler's license, because like on my business, I have a wholesaler's license. When I buy stuff from Amazon, they sell it to me with no taxes, right? Because I have a reseller's license for the state of Virginia. So don't go buying something on these sites. If you have that, again, these are processes that would actually save you a lot of money. Okay, you just got to turn in your paperwork, get your reseller's license, make sure you file every month with Chesterfield County, whatever municipality that you're living in. Okay. So that's going to be your first part. And then others that include in that line too are like Dell Business Credit. So if you need those type of things, softwares in places, you can get those in place. Sam's Club. So it's a list of them. Y'all can Google them or y'all can get in contact with me and I can just send you a list. Yeah, second tier. Second tier, tier 2, and then there's tier 3. Right. Yes. And then now once you have those going, the whole reason of having that conversation is once you have shown that you're paying those off, that's going to report to Dun & Bradstreet, is going to flow to your business credit, and then that allows you to go to banks, credit unions. And then when you come to us, you're already looking like you're very well established. Okay? And so that's how you get approved. That's how we move from the no's to the approved. But it's a process and you have to do diligence. So last thing I want to leave you with, I wish I could be. I didn't even get to share, okay, all right. Help me, Jesus. All right. So the last thing I want to kind of share with you that's very important and meaningful. We talked about doing all this on the business, right? Everything needs to mirror, right? Because eventually, like a lot of times when we're business owners, we're having to use our own capital, right? Credit cards, okay? So the point is you want to get to a place where you can now transfer the debt, pay it off, but transfer the debt, right? So you building this up, now you can refinance that personal debt that you took out for that vehicle, and now you can refinance. We do it all the time. People bought the vehicle under their personal name. Now they have the business credit established, and they can transfer it over to the business, and then you get the tax write-offs, you get all this stuff going. Okay? So you want to build that muscle. It's hard sometimes. It takes a lot of, one of my favorite words, stewardship. It's going to take you nurturing, it's going to take you moving, but you can get it to where it needs to be. And so the last thing I want to kind of leave you with is a conversation about diversification. A lot of times when we think about diversification, and of course, my background in investments, right? We think stocks, bonds, mutual funds, 401ks, pensions, right? And that is very true. But let's talk about the conversation of diversification just within the banking system. Just throughout my course and tenure of being in banking, a lot of times people are very, very, it's good that you're intimate with your bank, right? But you can't be so standoffish like, this is my bank, I've been with them 20 years, or this is my, I'm with Allstate, that's all, And so you put yourself in this bubble, and guess what? Those companies might not be as loyal to you. Meaning, okay, your insurance, for one, you're like, I've been here 15 years. You think you have the best rate? No, you don't. The new customer on the block gets the treat, right? So you always want to make sure you're shopping around. So when I have a conversation about diversification, we're not necessarily talking tonight about the investments, but traditionally, if you're trying to get access to capital, right, as a business owner, you need to diversify on your personal and business side with banking relationships. I traditionally recommend that you want to have at least one major bank, right? That's your Truist, that's your Wells Fargo, so on, so on, so on, okay? Then secondly, you want to have a credit union, right? There should be a credit union in your wallet. The reason being is that we have different product services. We have different layers of who gets approved, who doesn't get approved. So if you're trying to have more access to capital, how are you going to get more access if you just like this with this one bank? That's it. Third layer of bank that I would recommend, if you have a local bank, like I live out in the country, right? So I need a community bank that's like, I'm out in Nuremberg. Yeah, I'm country. That bank don't even, it's not up here. But I need that because it's right across the street, right? So either if you don't live in a rural community, then maybe look at an online bank. But you want to have multiple relationships because the way it works is like this. I have seen people stick with their one bank, then they need something, right? They need it, whether it's personal side, they need a new roof, business side, they have this opportunity, they need access to cash, and then their bank didn't give it to them, right? And then they go to a bank that's never seen them before. It's the same thing like I come in this room and I might see you and I say, listen, after this presentation, I need some money because guess what? I left my wallet and I live all the way near Lunenburg County and I don't have gas. You might be a little hesitant. You might be nice because I'm the speaker. Right. Well, I'm the speaker. But let's say I was in the corner and you didn't get that vibe. You might be a little hesitant if I'm going to cash back. But if I go to Rufus, because they know me relationship-wise, it's the same thing with the bank. When you have a relationship with the bank, we have something called a relationship score. Not just a credit, we have a relationship. So, they have this with us, they have a CD. So that's why you get pop-ups. When you go to tell them, they're like, you have a credit card. If you don't establish the relationship with the bank, you can't even get those offers that you wouldn't even be thinking about. You have to put yourself in position. We're playing checkers now. We're playing chess, not checkers, right? So we have to make sure that we put ourselves out there. I'm not telling you go get 50 banks, right? But what I'm telling, on the personal and business side, you want to have your top 3, that you have something to work with. Okay?
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
For your personal credit card, is it about how many credit cards you have, or is it about the limit? Like if you have one that hits maybe 25,000, 30,000, do you still need to have small ones?
I would.
Okay.
You want to know why? Utilization ratios is so many, and plus, it's a one-on-one conversation because maybe you have so many other things that's a part of your credit mix. But if you just have that one and then you don't have an auto loan because you paid it off, do you see what I'm saying? Credit mix, trade lines, all of those are going to be things.
You mentioned transferring debt.
Yes.
So like you buy a car.
Yeah.
How does that work? Does that work with credit cards too?
Yes. You could like your personal credit cards that you use to start up your business. Once you get the business credit established, you can refinance it under a business loan or a business credit card. And now you're doing a big bang to your personal credit because now it's going to look like you paid everything off, right? And then the last part that I wanted to kind of mention to you as far as diversification. When it comes to lending, you want your traditional banks, you want your credit unions, you want your CDFIs, right? You want your crowdfunding. Again, that's a part of credit mix. Don't just put yourself in a bubble, right? In many communities, the reason why they're able to grow and expand, they don't put themselves in bubbles. You know, they do what each and every one of you are actually doing today, is coming to sessions like this where you're able to grow and expand and get more information. So I definitely applaud you. I thank you for your time. I thank y'all for being gracious, even though I didn't have my presentation. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. Thank you. And we do have information in the back, because besides, you know, the funding and things like that, Choice has two things that is in place that is amazing. For maybe, it might not be for you all, but we want you to spread the word. We have traditional checking accounts on the personal side, traditional on the business side. But one thing that's near and dear to my heart is that we started maybe about 4 years ago, a confidence checking account on the personal side, and it's for folks that have declines, like meaning they can only bank at Wood Bars. They owe Bank of America, so it's check systems normally declines. We have a second chance account where we're able to open the accounts on the spot, get people where they need to be, and then we have second chance with the credit as well. So just know that a lot of times when we go out, I support like the housing development, RRHA, and we do like entrepreneurship classes, and we're in the community, and folks is like, I can't get approved. I know we have a 99%, 95 to 99% approval ratio.
Wow.
And so then they can do that. They can get their business account set up. So it's just amazing. So we would love to connect with you, your business, and then whoever else that you, because we all touch people, right? So we're here, and we so appreciate you all. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. For the most part, I cannot close this session out with any closing remarks without honoring and recognizing my matchless CEO. Y'all give Mr. Floyd Miller a third of hand. Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it without him. Man, I tell you, just the leadership and mentorship that he's given me. Y'all, excuse me, I won't get too emotional. But he's just been a jewel, man, and just taking me under his wing just to teach me some of the tricks of the trade. And so I'm delighted, and just had to give away to Mr. Floyd. Did you want to say anything, Mr. Floyd?
No, I just want to say great job, Rufus.
I tried my best. Look, I'm trying to keep up with him. Y'all. This guy came in today. I gotta say this before. But y'all look at that suit. I'm gonna tell you. I said, man, where you get that joke from? And look, the suit, I don't even know what type of material it is. That joke, I had to touch it. So. Yeah, before he kicked me out of his office, so it's all good. But anyways, look, listen, Rob, y'all go drink some upstairs. Don't get too drunk. Police still out there, all right? So y'all be good. This is not the first. There won't be the second. And Shantae will be here the next, if you will, the next time to pretty much continue this session about diversification with business and personal credit. And I also like to recognize Mr. Hassan here. What bank are you with, bro? Yeah. He's with Fulton Bank now. So maybe on the next session, I'll have him to kind of elaborate on some diversification, et cetera, and some access to capital. All right? That's my spiel. See y'all later.
We need to have a conversation.